London's quiet streets hide a secret few ever talk about. Not the East End mob, not the cartels, but a war between Turkish gangs that turned the city into a battlefield. 2 families, 20 murders, 15 years of blood and revenge. This is the gang war that terrorized London. A generational war between the Hackney Turks and the Tottenham Turks. 2 factions bound not by ideology, but by hatred. Shotgun blasts in broad daylight, motorbike assassins vanishing into traffic, innocent shopkeepers caught in the crossfire, children scarred by bullets meant for ghosts of the past. For over 15 years, this silent war raged across London, and even spilled into the streets of Istanbul and Bodrum. No truce, no mercy, only revenge, paid in blood. This is the true story of the Turkish gang war that shook the soul of Britain's capital. It's the anatomy of vengeance, the unraveling of loyalty, and how one man's promise to sort it out himself ignited a war that would haunt London for 15 years. The year was 2009. North London pulsed with the rhythm of immigrant ambition. Kebab shops, late-night cafes, snooker halls buzzing with chatter in Turkish, Kurdish, and English. But beneath that surface, 2 factions had quietly carved up territory like warlords. The Hackney Turks, led by the brooding, calculating Kemal Armagan, and the Tottenham Turks, under the volatile brothers Iset and Kemal Eron. Both groups had roots in the same diaspora, the same neighborhoods, but their loyalties had hardened into rivalry. They ran protection rackets, controlled nightclubs, moved drugs through back-alley networks. For years, tensions simmered, until January. Inside a dimly lit snooker hall in Finsbury Park, pride collided with power.
Witnesses say Kemal Armagan was disrespected. Some say slapped, others say worse, in front of his crew by the Eron brothers. In that moment, dignity became debt. Humiliation demanded payment, and Armagan made a vow that would echo through the next decade. I'll sort it out myself. He didn't mean with words, he meant with bullets. Within weeks, the first shots rang out. In March 2009, masked men stormed the Hackney Turks E5 club, spraying the walls with gunfire. No one died, but the message was clear. The war had begun. Then came the first true tragedy. Days later, Armit Payak, a 52-year-old shopkeeper in Stoke Newington, was gunned down in cold blood outside his grocery store. He wasn't a gangster. He'd never fired a weapon. But his business partner had loose ties to the Tottenham faction, and that was enough. At trial, prosecutors called it what it was, an act of immediate revenge. A civilian erased, collateral in a conflict he never chose. Kemal Armagan, sensing the net closing, vanished. He fled the UK, slipping into Europe's underworld. But his absence didn't cool the flames, it poured gasoline on them. By September 2009, London's streets had become a battlefield. 12 bullets tore through Iset Eron's car in broad daylight. Miraculously, he survived, bloodied, furious, and now fully committed to annihilation. The retaliation was swift and chillingly professional. In October, Okay Erbasli, a young Tottenham associate, was executed in the middle of the afternoon on a busy street. The killer? A hitman on a motorbike, vanishing into traffic before sirens could wail. This wasn't street brawling anymore. This was organized assassination. The Hackney Turks answered in kind. A machine gun ripped through the windows of a Tottenham-linked venue. But in the chaos, the bullet meant for a rival found Shem Duzgun, a man whose only crime may have been standing in the wrong place. Another innocent life, another ghost added to the growing tally of Black Star. By late 2009, North London lived in fear. Parents kept children indoors after dusk. Shopkeepers installed bulletproof glass. Police patrols doubled, but the gangs operated like shadows, striking and disappearing. The cycle had no off-ramp. In 2010, an attempted hit on Kenan Idogdu, a close ally of Armagan, failed, but only by inches. Each near miss fueled paranoia. Each funeral deepened the hunger for payback. And then, the war turned personal. In February 2012, Ali Armagan, Kemal's younger brother, was ambushed near Turnpike Lane, shot at point-blank range, left in a pool of blood on a rainy pavement. Street whispers pointed straight to Iset Eron. The message was brutal in its clarity. Nobody, not even family, is off-limits. But Kemal Armagan, still in exile, wasn't done. Later that year, in December 2012, Kemal Eron, the other half of the Tottenham leadership, was ambushed in Turkey. Gunmen opened fire outside his home in Istanbul. He survived, but was left paralyzed, confined to a wheelchair for life. Revenge had crossed borders. What began in a London snooker hall now echoed through the alleys of Anatolia. The symmetry was horrifying. Each side had lost a brother. Each loss demanded another. In 2013, the Tottenham Turks crowned a new leader, Zafer Eron, Kamal's younger sibling. He lasted less than a year. Gunned down in Southgate, execution style. Metropolitan Police called it a clear act of Hackney retaliation. The fifth major killing in 4 years. The fifth family shattered.
By now, the feud wasn't just about territory or ego, it was hereditary. Sons inherited vendettas like heirlooms. In 2014, Iset Eron, now the undisputed face of Tottenham's wrath, took the war back to Turkish soil. In Bodrum, 2 associates of the Hackney faction were shot in a seaside cafe. One died, the other paralyzed, mirroring Kamal Eron's fate. Turkish authorities issued international warrants, but Iset didn't care. He was beyond borders, beyond law. Then came April 2015, a date etched in blood. On the anniversary of an earlier killing, Bizat, a cousin of the Armagans, was executed in Turkey. Investigators believed Kamal Armagan ordered it from hiding, not for strategy, not for profit, for ritual, for memory, for the calendar itself to mark the debt. Later that year, Iset Eron smuggled himself back into London, determined to finish what he started. But police were waiting. They intercepted him on a stolen motorbike, clutching a loaded submachine gun. He was arrested before he could pull the trigger. Yet, even behind bars, the war raged. In December 2015, a desperate jailbreak attempt at a London police station ended in gunfire. Jermaine Baker, a young man allegedly recruited by the Tottenham faction, was shot dead by officers. The incident sparked a public inquiry and reignited tensions on the streets. Every arrest bred new rage. Every injury demanded a body in return. This wasn't crime. This was blood theology, a doctrine written in shell casings and widow's tears. And it was far from over. For a moment, just a breath, it seemed the storm had passed. After Iset Eron's 2015 arrest, North London exhaled. The gunfire faded. The motorbikes stopped idling outside rival clubs. Parents let their children play in parks again. Shopkeepers removed the sandbags they'd stacked by their doors. It wasn't peace, not truly, but it was quiet. A false peace, because in the underworld, silence is never surrender. It's preparation. Behind bars, Iset plotted. And in 2019, he was transferred to a Turkish prison under an international agreement. But Turkey's justice system had cracks, and Iset slipped through one. During a routine transfer, he vanished. No trace, no trail, just whispers in Istanbul backstreets and encrypted messages flashing across dark web channels. He was a ghost again, and ghosts don't rest, they haunt. Then, in 2020, the silence shattered. Hussein Eron, Iset's youngest brother, barely in his 20s, was found dead in a parking garage outside Antalya. Shot 3 times in the chest. No witnesses, no suspects, but everyone knew. This was Hackney's answer. Retaliation for Zafer, for Kamal, for every Iran life taken. And just like that, the war reignited. Not with a whisper, but with a bang. Within weeks, shootings erupted across London. A drive-by in Edmonton, a grenade tossed near a Hackney social club, a young man shot outside a mosque in Tottenham, mistaken for a rival. But this new wave wasn't just about honor or memory. It was fueled by something far more corrosive: heroin. The gangs had evolved. What began as a feud over pride had metastasized into a narcotics empire. Profits from Afghan heroin, smuggled through Balkan routes, cut in East London warehouses, and sold on street corners from Dalston to Enfield, now bankrolled hitmen, military-grade weapons, and even corrupt officials. The violence wasn't personal anymore. It was industrial. Turf wasn't just territory, it was supply chains, and anyone who threatened that pipeline was marked for death. The cycle had mutated. It no longer needed the original players to keep spinning. It fed itself.
Then came 2022, and a moment that would echo the war's very beginning. In Dalston, on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon, a gunman opened fire outside a busy takeaway. The target, allegedly a mid-level Hackney associate, but bullets don't discriminate.
One struck a 9-year-old girl playing near her mother's car. She survived, but the image of her small body wrapped in bandages flooded news feeds, shook Parliament, and forced London to look, finally, at the war it had ignored for over a decade. The hit, police later confirmed, was ordered by the Tottenham faction, a message sent in blood. An accomplice, Javon Riley, was convicted. The gunman vanished, like so many before him. But fate, it seemed, was closing its circle. Later that same year, after 7 years on the run, Iset Eron was tracked to a nondescript apartment in Chisinau, Moldova. Cornered by Interpol and Turkish intelligence, he surrendered, not in defiance, but in exhaustion. He applied for asylum, hoping Moldova's courts would shield him from extradition to the UK. For a time, it worked. He was released on bail in early 2024. He walked free for 11 days. On the 12th, as he stepped out of a cafe in downtown Chisinau, 2 men on a motorcycle pulled up. One fired 4 precise shots to the head and chest. Iset Eron collapsed on the pavement, dead before he hit the ground. A professional hit. Clean, cold, symbolic. Within weeks, Topa Hassan, Kamal Armagan's brother-in-law and alleged logistics mastermind, was arrested in Istanbul. Investigators believe he orchestrated the assassination from a burner phone in a Turkish safe house. Revenge, once again, had crossed borders. And then, in early 2025, the final domino fell. After 15 years in hiding, moving between safe houses in Germany, Bulgaria, and northern Iraq, Kamal Armagan was finally apprehended by Turkish anti-terror units in a suburb of Gaziantep. Gaunt, gray-haired, but unmistakable. The 2 architects of the bloodshed, the men whose pride lit the fuse, were now both gone. One in a morgue, the other in a maximum security cell. Neither died a king. Neither died free. The war had consumed its creators. Now only the aftermath remains. Both gangs are shattered. Leaders dead, imprisoned or paralyzed. Lieutenants turned informants. Foot soldiers serving life sentences or buried in unmarked graves. Over 20 lives lost, dozens more scarred, physically, psychologically, generationally. In Tottenham and Hackney, community centers now host trauma counselors. Murals honor the innocent. Armit Payak, the shopkeeper who just wanted to feed his family. The 9-year-old girl in Dalston, whose childhood was stolen by a bullet meant for a ghost. This feud spanned 16 years. It stretched from Finsbury Park to Bodrum, from prison cells in London to assassinations in Moldova. It passed from fathers to sons, uncles to nephews. 3 generations bound not by love, but by vengeance. And what did it achieve? Did Kamal Armagan reclaim his honor? Did Iset Eron protect his name? Or did they simply leave behind widows, orphans, and streets that still flinch at the sound of a backfiring car? In the end, there were no winners, only families left to mourn. This is more than a gang war. It's a cautionary tale, etched in blood, whispered in courtrooms, remembered in the silence of grieving homes. Pride started it, revenge sustained it, and in the end, both devoured everything they touched. So what's the lesson for us? That silence enables violence. That cycles only break when someone chooses to stop swinging the axe. That no feud is worth a child's scream. London streets may be quiet again, but the scars remain. And if we forget, if we look away, the next war might not wait 16 years to begin. If this story moved you, share it, talk about it. Because the greatest weapon against cycles of violence isn't a gun, it's memory, and the courage to say, not again.